Power lander module.
Well, we brought you that real-life drama on yesterday's show. How do you think it matches up to this?
We must reach far beyond our own lifespans.
Well, that's the Christopher Nolan blockbuster Interstellar that saw Matthew McConaughey blasting off into space. Now, the reason that we draw the comparison, this viral tweet that Elon Musk picked up on, it points out that the $74 million budget, yes, $74 million budget for the Indian space launch is less than half the price tag of that Hollywood movie. Well,
so here's the real question. If ISRO is that smart, why does NASA dominate space? NASA managed to send humans on the moon within 11 years of establishment. It set the USA flag on a natural satellite, while ISRO has been established 57 years ago, and we are still struggling to launch our first manned mission. I love our country of India and I love the kind of intelligence that we have, but does that mean that we keep the reality in the background? It's time to face it and answer one of the biggest questions in the space development of India. Will ISRO ever overtake NASA? Today we are not doing nationalism, we are not doing propaganda. We are not doing India good, America bad. We are doing something more uncomfortable. We are talking about systems. Because space dominance is not built with talent alone. It is built by patience, money, and permission to fail. Before comparing ISRO with NASA, we need to understand what ISRO really is. ISRO is not a rich agency that chooses to be cheap. ISRO is a space agency that was forced to be cheap. From the beginning, ISRO was designed to serve national development, support communication, weather and navigation, and prove technological independence. But ISRO was never given blank checks, multi-decade funding guarantees, or tolerance for repeated failure. From day one, ISRO learned one rule. If you fail, you may not get another chance. This single rule shaped everything. From rocket design to mission scope to testing philosophy to risk appetite. ISRO doesn't ask what's the most ambitious thing to do. It asks what is the most reliable thing that we can afford. That difference is everything. To get a timeline as to when ISRO will overtake NASA, we need to compare the space program development of the two countries, of India and United States of America. As of late 2025, the United States of America has 5,184 operational satellites in space, while India has a little over 140 satellites in the lower Earth orbit and the geosynchronous Earth orbit. The US research ecosystem, even that, produces far more relevant research papers, magazines, all of that than India. ISRO's GSLV, PSLV, LVM-3 are all optimized to cost, while NASA's SLS and Falcon 9 are optimized to capability. Don't worry, we'll talk about all of this in detail in this video itself, but the major difference is that NASA's budget is $24 to $25 billion a year. And it is consistently funded at this level for decades now. On the other hand, ISRO's yearly budget is around 13,000 to 14,000 crores per year, which is around 1.5 to 1.7 billion dollars a year only. Compare the two numbers, 25 and 1. You can count it as 2 if you want to, but 25 and 2. NASA spends 15 to 16 times more every year. The difference in the budget itself is around $23 billion, which is already way more than ISRO's budget. Space agencies do not compete on intelligence. They compete on sustained development over a period of time. This budget gap will explain 80% of everything else that will be discussed in this video. But now first, let's talk about something more technical. The difference in the launch vehicles of the two countries, or the two space agencies of ISRO and NASA. ISRO is widely popular for its two launch vehicles, GSLV and PSLV. First, let's talk about PSLV. PSLV stands for Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. It has a payload of around 1.7 tons to the Sun synchronous orbit and around 3.8 tons to the lower Earth orbit. Basically, to explain it to you in the simplest way possible, payload means the weight of the stuff that a satellite or a launch vehicle can carry to space. Basically, by the sentence, PSLV can carry 3.8 tons of payload to the lower Earth orbit. I mean, it can lift around 3,800 kgs to the lower Earth orbit. The role of PSLV is Earth observation, small and medium satellites, and foreign commercial payloads. It has the reputation of one of the most reliable rockets in the world. PSLV is the reason why India has become a global commercial launch partner. Another launch vehicle that we have is GSLV Mk2, which basically stands for Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle Mark II. The payload is around 2.5 tons to the geostationary transfer orbit. And the key tech used in it is cryogenic upper stage. And the role that this satellite serves is basically satellite communication. Another satellite that is very, very popular in India is LVM-3. It was again formerly known as GSLV Mk2, which we already talked about. It has a payload of around 8 tons to the lower Earth orbit and around 4 tons to the geostationary transfer orbit. The role is human spaceflight, basically Gaganyaan, something that we are going to talk about in the future in this video itself, and heavy missions. This is ISRO's most powerful operational satellite. Now coming to the NASA or the US space rockets. The most popular out of the bunch is SLS, which stands for Space Launch System. It has a payload of balling 95 tons to the lower Earth orbit, and that is just the first block. The future blocks will have the capacity of over 130 tons. Now compare this to India's most powerful operational satellite, LVM-3. It had the capacity of only 8 tons. The role of the satellite is moon missions like Artemis, which, by the way, is something that I keep on updating you about on my reels as well as my shorts, so don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram as well. The other future roles of the satellite is the upcoming Mars missions that NASA is basically preparing for right now. But let me make this critical comparison clear to you first. PSLV and GSLV are precision tools, and SLS is a super heavy lift system. SLS is an overkill for most missions, but it is also essential for deep space human exploration. Comparing PSLV to SLS is not really a fair contest. They solve completely different problems. And here's the fact that actually surprises many people. ISRO has launched more foreign satellites than NASA. Why? Because ISRO sells launch services and NASA does not. ISRO makes these sales through NSIL, which basically stands for New Space India Limited, formerly known as Antrix Corporation. And they make these sales because of the limited budget. Launching foreign satellites or international satellites helps India's space organization. It helps them fill their pockets and just get some extra money. ISRO's PSLV alone has launched over 400 foreign satellites from 30 plus countries. All these satellites were mainly small and CubeSats. On the other hand, NASA rarely launches foreign satellites as a service. It focuses on national missions and joint science payloads. Let me make another important clarification. If you compare ISRO versus NASA in terms of foreign satellites launched, ISRO wins here. But if you compare India versus USA, which is basically SpaceX plus NASA combined, USA again dominates. This distinction is crucial. NASA has had crewed missions since the year of 1961. Some major programs include Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, Space Shuttle, ISL, and other commercial crew. Hundreds of astronauts have flown. ISRO, on the other hand, has had 0 crewed missions to anywhere, to Moon or to the low Earth orbit or anything like that. We have heard some news about Gaganyaan, which is another planned human mission by ISRO, but it has had multiple issues. The program announcement date, it happened back in the year 2022. Now it's already 2026. We are 4 years into it. Though uncrewed tests are going on. Crewed missions matter a lot. Human spaceflight locks political support, stabilizes budget, creates industrial ecosystem, and multiplies technology development. NASA's dominance is cemented here by continuous human presence in space, and ISRO is just entering this phase. Now coming to the flagship missions, which basically are the biggest, most important, most expensive, and most ambitious missions of a space agency. NASA's flagship telescopes include Hubble Space Telescope, which was launched in the year 1990, James Webb Space Telescope, which was launched in the year 2021. The cost of JWST alone was around $10 billion. And it took around 25 years to develop that single telescope. ISRO's important space developments include AstroSat, which was launched in the year 2015, which costed around 400 to 500 crores, which is around 70 to 80 million dollars. Not even $1 billion. They are not doing it because they want to. They are doing it because they are forced to do it this way. JWST alone cost more than ISRO's years of budget combined. This is not a talent problem. This is a funding and a patience problem. To give you a better understanding, let me summarize NASA's advantages mathematically. It has 15 times the annual budget of ISRO, multiple parallel flagship missions, permanent human spaceflight, regular billion-dollar science missions, tolerance for failure, the very, very important thing, and a massive private sector multiplier. Let me also summarize ISRO's advantages mathematically. It has had the lowest cost per mission. It has a high reliability, it has a commercial launch trust, and a rapid learning curve. But you saw how generalized those terms were, and they were not really mathematical, and they did not sound very reliable. One agency explores, the other agency optimizes. Now again, our question was, will ISRO ever be able to overtake NASA? Let's try and answer that question mathematically. NASA's budget is around $25 billion a year, and ISRO's budget is around $2 billion a year. What ISRO needs right now is an immediate increase in the budget by at least $4 to $5 billion per year. It has to have a sustained growth of 10 to 12% annually and a guaranteed funding for over 20 years. The estimated timeline with stable funding would be by late 2030s or early 2040s. But without the funding, ISRO remains excellent but limited. This is not about IQ. It is about political patience. Let's end with one fact. India already has world-class scientists. It already has proven engineers and global credibility. What it does not yet consistently provide is long-term funding insulation, permission to fail, and parallel mission capacity. So the final truth is, NASA explores because it is funded to fail. ISRO survives because it is funded to succeed. Neither of them is bad, but only one builds space dominance. Talent builds rockets. Money builds eras. That's it. That is how I want to end this. Don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe. I'll see you again very soon.